A lot of your feedback tonight on Newsnight. It's an interesting show. It's not politicians shouting at each other, but a constructive discussion on policy, looking at the Azimio manifesto, the state of the country, what has worked in the past, what hasn't, and what could work moving forward. And these are some of your thoughts this evening. Let's start with the tweets that have been sent our way. Hashtag is Newsnight. All right, no name, but you say the next government must set its priorities right. Part of the reason why we're in a bad state as a nation is misplaced priorities, which translates to misdirection of funds, which ends in the endemic corruption. All right, Calvin, you say to Caroline Karugu, I grew up wearing Sahara shoes made by Bata, very durable. Somewhere along the way, they just vanished. Ken Kiberenge, you say, on textile production chain is the farmer who plants cotton for supply to textile factory. Then there's the textile production, employees in the factory. Then there are tailors, then clothes, Gikomba sellers. Over 5 million people can be employed in this chain. Asking for a friend, is Carol wearing Kenyan attire? What about Mitumba cars, Mitumba electronics? Okay, it seems the Mitumba discussion has Lillian Gore, you say procurement fraud is the elephant in the house. I can't even agree more. Involvement of big fish in the scandals makes the math harder. How Azimio would separate personal ties from professional targets will be the thing that tilts the balance. Okay, let me read 2 SMSs. Somebody here, Crispin, you say, procurement officers in government are the most corrupt. Large amounts of money are lost through these offices. No wonder procurement courses are more lucrative now in campus than many others. God save Kenya. And one last SMS here. What plans does the Azimio manifesto show for saving lenders from microfinances that are overcharging interest and penalties with hidden charges? Okay, I know we have a lot more, but you know, we need to let Kenyans go to sleep, go and rest. It's a working day tomorrow. So, Carol, let me start with you. Get some responses, even as you give us your parting shot.
Thank you. First of all, let me respond to that Kenyan who asks if what I'm wearing is made here in Kenya. Yes, indeed. My jacket is made in Kawangware. Actually, there's a lady, wonderful lady there, a widow called Mama Blessings, who does a lot of my jackets. Now, the fabric could be imported, but the labor is local. My dress was made in Nyeri by a wonderful lady called Siema. She gifted it to me when I became DG. So there is some Kenyan labor that has gone into it. And I was just telling you, see, Kenyans believe that if you're wearing kitenge is when you're wearing Kenyan. There is also other fabrics, that people can make, and and that is why we are saying in Azimio that these fabrics need not be imported. We need now to go beyond the fundis, we get imported fabric, and then we download a design from Pinterest and then ask the fundi try and make my dress to look like it's a Calvin Klein dress. So anyways, that can be done if, for instance, we regularize the textile industry. What about Mitumba cars? What about Mitumba electronics? You have just accused us of wanting to do everything. Can we start with the textile industry? Because, the Mitumba cars would mean that then we begin to produce our own vehicles. And I think it's a discussion that has been in and out. But we believe the place to start is the textile industry. Microfinances, overcharging, that's a totally new one. I think there are regulations around, interest rates in this country, and I would be keen to know which exact microfinance that is, so that then we are able to have a look at, what's going on there. My parting shots to Kenyans. Briefly, please. Thank you. We have ahead of us the most definitive election of our time. We have to decide the good and the bad. On one side, we have the reformists. On the other side, we have the conformists. On one side, we have people who have demonstrable record to fight corruption. On the other side, we have people who have a demonstrable record to pardon and excuse corruption in this nation. We have that chance as Kenyans to choose the right government and to choose the kind of nation that we would like to bequeath the children that will come after us. And that choice is none other but the Azimio coalition. Make the right choice. That one you said without my permission. Kwame, what's your last word on this?
Yes, but my last word on this is Kenyans, do not be cynical and believe the idea that sometimes even the press proclaims that all these manifestos are the same. They're not. I think it's in our interest to take some time to actually look at it and understand what differences and what the promises are so that we can align ourselves to one or the other if we choose to vote or not. So at least you know what's coming. Because contrary to what most people believe, the outcomes that we have today are the outcomes that Jubilee intended. Why? Because they did the stuff they needed to do. They said they were going to do. They were going to build a big train. They're going to expand. Yes, they're going to build a big train. They're going to expand laptops, right? And they're going to do big infrastructure, which is what has been done. So the consequence of that is debt and some of the cost of living issues that we see today. That is what was intended, telling you that manifestos matter. So please don't sleep thinking that all I have to do is just align myself based on the fact that be cynical and believe that all these people are the same. They're not. And these promises will tell you who. Then you can align with who you think is, whose promises are more consistent with the world you'd like to live in.
In 30 seconds, someone who doesn't have time to read all through the pages of manifestos that will be coming out between now and August 9th, what are 3 things you tell them to look out for? Is there a quick read?
One, will they raise your taxes? I don't think that everybody wants your taxes. That's 2. 2, are they going to do something about corruption? Because that's a really, really big thing. And thirdly, what will they do to the 2 services that government only can provide? Health and education. Because most of us want our kids, our relatives, or some people to go to school and do better tomorrow. So think about those.
I think that's a good place to leave it. I want to thank my guests. A very constructive discussion, really helping us understand the economy, the challenges, the opportunities. We've had Caroline Karugu, who's the Deputy Chief Agent, Azimio Oka Coalition Party. Thank you for finding time for us this evening. And of course, Kwame Owino, CEO, Institute of Economic Affairs. And these are discussions we'll continue to have, even as other presidential candidates release their manifestos. We'll call their teams here to come and explain to us, and we'll get some independent minds to come and look through those manifestos and try and give us a sense of what really is going on. Remember, we do this every Tuesday here on Citizen TV, and next week, same time, same place, we'll be back to help you understand what's happening on the political arena. On behalf of the whole team that's made this broadcast possible, thank you for tuning in. My sign language interpreter this evening has been Wilson Mushora. Once again, thanks to my guests. Thank you to Kenyans for tuning in. And at this point, we say good night. Stay safe. Goodbye for now. My name is Wahiga Mwaura. Kwaheri.